Hello again, I'm back. This is part 2 of episode 40. I didn't mention that in the first part. This is my 40th podcast episode. That feels a bit mad. By the end of this year, I'll have done 50. Anyway, this is part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 already, you don't have to, but it will be linked underneath, and I'm not going to do a proper intro to this video. I'm just going to crack straight on. So if you're watching this and you're a bit confused, thinking, what's going on, what she's talking about, go back and watch the first one. It's about half an hour long. So yeah, there's that. I'm going to crack straight on. I was talking about the projects that I have been working on recently, and I've got just one more work in progress to show you. This is a little tricky to hold up because of the way that I am sort of halfway through joining things together, but I shall do my best. This is the Flower Power blanket, and I love it. So bright, so colourful, so kind of retro inspired, sort of 60s, 70s. Love it. So many colours. Every single hexagon is different. I can't see. Oh, I froze. I'm back. I can't really see what you can see at the moment, but I'm hoping that you're getting a good idea of how this looks. Oh, hello. I need to join that. And then that'll join to that. There's been a few times when joining these together where I have joined a few hexagons and then I've had to undo it and do it again because I've done too many joins at once, and it's kind of just not worked. It's going to work, isn't it? Yeah, because if I do that one like that and that one like that, yes, that does work. Good. Okay. Once again, I will be putting pattern details, yarn details, etc. somewhere on the screen for you. But really, I just wanted to say that I am still really enjoying working on this. This was in hibernation for a long time, and I brought it back out of hibernation the last time I spoke to you. Did my little wheel spinny thing that I do for the hibernating works in progress, and I am enjoying it so much that I'm not going to spin the wheel this time. I'm just going to carry on. I've got plenty to be working on, and I'm really, really enjoying that. So, yeah, nothing else will be coming out of that huge stash of hibernating works in progress that you can see lurking in the background. And that's okay. I don't have to bring out something every single time I speak to you. It'd be nice if I did, if I could really quickly clear down that pile of old works in progress, but that's just not how it goes. There are always so many things I want to work on. There's new projects constantly going on, as I will talk about very soon. And the old ones can wait, they're not urgent, that's why they're in hibernation. I have, as well as having joined some more hexagons onto the blanket, I have made a bunch more. I just want to quickly show you those as well. I absolutely adore the fact that all of these are different because the yarn is self-striping, colour changing, and you use 2 colourways for each hexagon. You use one for the central flower motif and one for the kind of backgroundy bit, and because they're both self-striping, just the colours change constantly, and I love it, absolutely love it. It means that some of them you get really high contrast, like this one, you get a really really definite contrast between the flower and the background. This is another, I'm not going to be able to show you one that isn't now. Hang on, there's another really good high contrast one, which I prefer. I do like the high contrast ones, but that's partly just because of the way my eyes fail to work. And then you get ones like this, there we go, where there's very little contrast, but it still looks really cool, and the flower is kind of still there, just much more subtle. And I do like those ones too. So, but I do like these the best, the high contrast ones. Ooh, there we go. I just think they're so pretty. There's another slightly lower contrast one, and that's kind of middle ground. Yeah, I love it. Really love it. And each hexagon is reasonably quick to work up as well, so hence why I've got quite a stockpile. This is 2 or 3 evenings work. And when I say an evening, I mean 2-3 hours each time. So, and I'm not the quickest crocheter out there, not by a long shot. I'm sure if you are watching this, if you are a crocheter, there's a very good chance you're quicker than me, to be honest. Not that it matters. We all work at our own pace, and that is fine. But yeah, just saying, if it doesn't take me long, it won't take you long either. And I think that's all I was going to say about that project. Just love. It's amazing. We're coming into exactly the wrong time of year to be making a big blanket. And that's the second one that I've got on the go now. But I think that one's not so bad, like when the weather does get warmer, because because the hexagons are small, I'm not going to be sat under a massive blanket the whole time I'm working on it. It's just when it comes to joining it that it'll be a problem, and I would like to get it finished for winter so we can use it this year. But we'll see. I might get bored of it again. It might have to go away for a bit. We shall see. But for now, it's staying out. And on that note, now that I've talked about all the current works in progress that I'm working on, like I say, I'm not going to spin the wheel. I'm not going to pull anything else out of hibernation this time. Oh God, my hair. Sorry. But I did just want to do a very quick rundown of what I'm going to be working on for the next couple of weeks, and that you've already seen, and a few new projects without actually giving any details away. But just so you know, I've got plenty to be going on with at the moment. So ongoing works in progress, there's the socks that you've seen in the first part. There's the new mandala cushion, which I mentioned very briefly when I was showing you the one I finished, and there's my rainbow shrug, which I showed at the end of the last video, and then the flower power blanket to carry on with. So that, to be honest, is plenty anyway. But there are 3 new things that I want to start as well, because obviously 4 new things, because obviously I have all the time in the world and can absolutely get all these done, she says, with absolutely no sarcasm whatsoever. There is an Easter project I want to do. I'm not going to say too much about it now, except that it will be a mosaic crochet probably. It's going to be a wall hanging. It is going to be slightly controversial, possibly, and it will technically be my own design. I'm going to be stealing elements from a couple of places, so the other patterns that I've used parts of will absolutely get credited. I will credit the designers in podcast episodes, social media posts, etc. But the final product, I suppose I can't really call it my own. Well, no, it is. It's my own design. I am putting those elements together in my own way. So that's exciting. Hopefully I'll be able to show you at least the beginning of that, well, the next time we speak, because Easter is getting ever closer. I want to get it done. I also want to work up a whole bunch of fabric samples that I can take along to markets and so on, to show potential customers, right, these are the kind of things I can make without having to make whole cushions every single time, because it does take, takes a lot of time. And and I don't have a lot of space for keeping piles of stock knocking around. So yeah, I want to kind of build up a pile. I need to work out how I'm going to display them. But yeah, basically get together a whole load of fabric samples of different patterns, different types of yarn, different colour combinations, and so on. And so yeah, that's an ongoing thing that, you know, I'm not going to get them all done straight away, but I want to start building up that. And then there are 2 birthdays. Well, there's a bunch of birthdays. There are 2 very important birthdays coming up over the next 2.5 months. It's my son Ned's birthday at the end of April. He will be turning 9, and I've got something that I want to make for him. And then it is my husband's birthday at the end of May, and there is something I'd like to make for him. I'm not going to get it finished for his birthday, but I want to start working on it now and hopefully get it finished by Christmas. I would like to also make him a small something for his birthday, just because it's kind of become a bit of a thing now that I do, especially because I'm broke, so I can't buy it much. So I need to have a think about what I could make for him. We will see. So that is where we are with all that. Spinning. I've been spinning. I am so... words. I just can't even get it out. I'm enjoying spinning so much at the moment that I can't even express how much I'm enjoying it. What was I going to show you? Right, so this is Wesley. Hang on. Okay, I'm not going to talk about these ones too much because you have seen them before, but I have finished spinning the Moody Blues yarn fibre. It is now yarn because I've spun it, but it was fibre. This is all from World of Wool. It's a pack that they do. I'm just trying to organise these so I can pick them all up at once and show you them all together. It's a pack of 6 shades of blue, all with a merino base. I think one of them is 100% merino, and then the others, there's a couple that are merino and silk. There's one that I think is merino and bamboo. There's another blend as well that I can't remember. And I have enjoyed these so much. I think in the last video I gave you, not the last video because that was part 1 of this, in my last podcast 2 weeks ago, I put all the details up of exactly what all the different blends were. So if you want to know, you can go back and see that there. I really want to use these all together in one project. I'm thinking a scarf, but the yarn thickness, I was going to say weight, but I know that confuses some people. Yeah, it's quite different across these little skeins. I've got, hang on. So I think this is the first one I spun. Maybe. Might not be, but it's one of the first ones I did. And this one's worked out at 15 wraps per inch, which is approximately a DK. It's not too thick. And because of that, there are approximately 70 yards of that one. It's really lovely. I absolutely love it. But I think that's the thickest one. Oh yeah, I think this is the first one I spun. And this one, I see, but then this one, even though this might have been the first one, this one's 18 wraps per inch, which doesn't sound like a big difference, but it's enough, because this works out at a light sport, so quite a bit lighter than a DK. Again, it's gorgeous. I love it. And I haven't written down how many yards there were. Oh well, never mind. But then we go all the way down to one of them. Well, that's another sport weight. That one I think is the thinnest, but let me just double check. That one's a fingering weight. And that one's a finger. So far I've got DK, 2 sport-ish, 2 fingering, and then 1 light fingering. So this is really thin. This one worked out at 25 wraps per inch, 188 yards. So double the length of this one. Much thinner. I'm really, really proud of the spin on this one though. It worked out so well. So the difference between these two actually is the least problematic bit, because I could just hold this double. This is the fine one, the light fingering. That I'd probably, I don't think it'd make it as thick as this, but it'd bring it back to a sport, a light DK. It'd get it close. But then these in the middle, I don't know, it's all just, I don't know whether to just kind of wing it, use them all together anyway, and have some sections that will be much lighter weight than others. I don't know whether to use these 4 together, because that would probably work okay. It's the sport and the fingering, not too different. Use this on its own for something else, a bit of colour work in something maybe, and then use this either as a border for whatever I make with the others, or again as, you know, colour work in something separate. I just don't know. So if you have any ideas, please comment, let me know, or drop me an email if you don't want to comment on here. Yeah, what would you do with them? Because the colours are gorgeous and they do go together so well. That's not in the right order, but I can sort of get a gradient going with them. You know, they're just so lovely. I just don't know what to do with them. So anyway, that's those. I think there's more. This is a kind of a ongoing spin that I can show you most but not all of. Okay, so let me get, no, it's fine, I don't need the label, it's okay. Right, on this spindle I've got this utter gorgeousness. I'm so pleased with this, both in terms of the consistency of the spin, to be honest, it's worked out really, really well, and how fine I've got it, but also the colours. It has been like spinning fire. It's gorgeous, which is appropriate because it's called Dragon's Breath. This is the fibre that my dad gave me with my electric eel spinner, which this is one of the spindles from. And I've been holding off on spinning it because I wanted to make sure I could do those colours justice, and I feel like I have done. I've managed to get, it's not a regular stripe, doesn't need to be, but I've managed to get a separation between the colours. There's some really deep reds, there's that are quite vibrant orange, and then there's a kind of pale goldy yellow, which is silk. So this is I think it's 80% merino, 20% silk. It's from the threshing barn, and the silk is all these paler, all the bits where it's really pale, that's the silk. And I did initially think I should kind of draft it out in such a way that the silk was evenly distributed throughout the yarn, but I actually really like that I haven't. Makes for a really interesting texture, really interesting colour. And the only problem with it has been that I've had to make sure I've put a bit of extra spin in when I've got to the silk, and it has actually meant those sections are a little bit thicker because the silk kind of clumps up more than the merino does. But it's been really interesting to learn about spinning silk while doing that. I've really, really enjoyed it. I was thinking that I would chain ply this as it is, because that would keep the colours fairly distinct. I'd end up with short stripes, which would be fine and would look nice. I was thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking no, because I probably would end up with some sections where the colours muddy a bit. That distinction between the colour sections wouldn't be as obvious. I'd like to keep them as separate as possible. So what else have I got that I can ply it with? Not a lot is the answer, and I was good. Normally in this kind of situation I'd be like, oh well, I haven't got anything that works, so I'll go and buy some more yarn, fibre. I was good. Because I discovered that what I do have in my stash is this. This is, it doesn't actually say on there, it's called Glitzy Raven. This is from World of Wool again. I'm just going to break a bit off so that I can show you without rustling the bag. And this is merino, black merino, with, it's not stellina because it's not sparkly. I think it might be nylon blended in, but it's a special kind of super shiny nylon. Look at the shine on that. It's gorgeous. So I've started spinning this. So far I've managed to get it about the same thickness as this, which is good. And I think, I can't show you the spindle because it's on the machine and I don't want to move it all around. When I spin it up, the shine is still there, but the black really comes through. It's a really deep, rich black, and I think it's going to work really well plied with this. So it'll be a much darker yarn overall, but all these vibrant colours will still show through. So I'm excited about how that's going to turn out. It will take me a little while to get the black spun up, of course, and then to ply it together. Hopefully, in fact no, definitely by the next time I speak to you I'll have got that finished, because once I get into the groove and get spinning I do get on quite quickly. So that should be the next finished spin that I can show you, and then I'll have to decide what to use that for, which is the tricky bit. I think my instinct at the moment is possibly some more fingerless gloves. Because of the orange in it, I don't want, because I was thinking it's really, really lovely and soft, I'd make a scarf or a cowl. I do not suit orangey tones at all. I've got completely the wrong complexion. So I don't want it near my face. But I'm thinking fingerless gloves I could get away with. Possibly some socks, but it's not, there's not a lot of nylon content if it is nylon. So I don't know. Maybe some leg warmers. Anyway. Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. I need to finish spinning it first, and then I can figure that out. Right, I think that's all the exciting stuff that I was going to show you. Yes, I'm just on to wrapping up. So what do I need to make sure that I tell you before I'm done? My next podcast episode, all going well, should be published on the 28th of March. This year is just disappearing, but hey, try not to dwell on that. The next craft market that I am both hosting and trading at is on the 12th of April, which I believe is a week before Easter. There are still some spaces left if you would like to bring along your business, trade with me, be a vendor. All the details are on my website, which will be linked below. And there are other events organised for the rest of the year as well. So if this Easter market is no good for you, there's one in June, one in August, and then October, November, December. So plenty more. I need to start booking next year's. Mad. But yes, fairly chill this week about it, but I think from next week I need to be really into full-on organisation mode for that. Because it's getting very close now. It is a month away. Right, and I think it just remains for me to say thank you again for watching. I hope doing it in 2 parts has worked for you, made it a little bit easier to find time to watch it. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to come and listen to me ramble and look at what I've been making. I know I'm not the most coherent always. Hopefully I've managed to make myself understood for you. And yeah, if you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, I'm not going to push it, but just a quick note that if you do subscribe, you will be notified when I upload any video, which means you'll never miss it, which is useful. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I want you to put an emoji comment on this one too. I'm trying to think what to use. I used a rainbow for part 1. Sun emoji for this one. I don't like the sun. Tell you what, state your preference. Would you rather it was really hot and sunny, put a sun emoji, or are you like me and you like the winter weather better? If you do, put a snowflake. We'll see which is most popular. I think I know what it will be. You put your favourite down and we'll see. Right, thank you very much. I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to go and tidy up my mess, do some other bits and bobs and start editing. Alright, I'll be back in a couple of weeks.